welcome to Nimo's Corner, where we ask art professionals hard questions under the umbrella of how do artists get a job? Today, we're joined by a random guy that spawned out of nowhere who has the exact credentials we needed specifically for this episode. So I'm Ade.
And I am Pink.
And this is Nimo's Corner Season 3!
For Season 3, Episode 2, Nemo's question would be, what are the hard truths of animation as a career?
Wait, actually, isn't this theme Dungeons and Dragons?
Oh, right! So, what are you playing as?
I'm a bug witch. What
Oh,
are
I
you?
see. I'm a slave fairy. And what are you playing as?
Oh, I'm a blacksmith fish.
Wow! We are much like the bosses of our Filipino artists experiencing crunch culture, I think. So, have you got any questions?
Oh, I do. So, sir, have you ever experienced crunch time in your career?
Oh, I think it's common for people in our industries to experience crunch time, whether you're working for other people or working for yourselves. It's normal to hear horror stories of crunch culture where people sleep under their desks to complete deadlines. So, since we're production-based industry, it's normal to catch up to time, and because of that, it's correlated with burnout. It's very common whether you work for yourself or you work for other people to experience crunch. So regarding crunch, I think it's inevitable.
Since it's so inevitable, would you say like it's an effective way to, push out work?
Well, yes and no. There is only a certain amount of time you can push yourself physically, mentally, before it catches up to you. Remember, in this world, nothing really is free. So you need to be more, structured with how you approach your project. Do you know the saying that to eat an elephant, you start with one bite?
I don't know that saying.
Okay, so to do a project, you need to attack your goals, micromanage it, and start with the small ones you can achieve. Any project can be done. It's just how you attack it.
That is true.
Much like an elephant would attack us. So, what advice can you give artists or animators who are like burnt out from crunch culture?
They say as an animator, we're illusionists, correct? So our job is to give the illusion of life. So how do you give an illusion if you never live life? The best way to take a break from animation is to actually experience different facets of life that will teach you how to animate. One of the best things I do to de-stress from animation is, as usual, play video games. But then I also go outdoors and do fishing.
Really?
Wow!
I actually farm as well.
What?
So doing those things helps you enrich your visual library and your knowledge on how to do stuff. Because if you have to animate like a farming scene, you're very familiar with like how you're supposed to dig for crops or pull up weeds,
You really live, laugh, loved, sir. That's crazy.
I think he's meant to be in this world.
That's true. If I was an animator, I would not have the time to farm, guys. I hate manual labor.
I just woke up here.
So, have you got a question?
I do have another question. So, do you find crunching to be an effective way to do creative work?
No, but I think it's necessary. Sometimes there are times that you have to compromise time for quality, so you can satisfy whatever project you're trying to create. Because if you're working for other people, they don't care if you're sick or you have something going on. You have to get the project done. It affects your credibility as an artist to do like projects on a timely manner. Unfortunately, that's the way it is.
You need to pass everything early, Queen. I pass everything early. I'm on my way to become a corporate slave. So, ano pa, do you have any notable experiences of being burnt out during your career and overcoming it po?
Oh yeah. So I started my studio around pandemic time because most of the studios back then wasn't hiring. So what I did to do that is I registered myself and my company name in BIRDTI. So those are stuff that you have to learn about when you actually want to do freelance work or you want to do your own path. So after doing that for a bit, it was fine because you work from home. So you would think it was comfortable, right? But the other side of that is you feel like you're in prison. It feels like your computer is a shackle to you because you would have clients nagging you like at odd hours of the morning. Sometimes you're trying to sleep. I did that studio as a way to get out of the corporate rat race, I guess. You can only go for so long before you're tired working for other people's dreams. I did it as a way to rebel, I guess, and try to find my own niche and try to, make my own. I mean, it's still far, but it's a start. Mostly in that studio, I do character rigging, 2D design, motion graphics. Those are my bread and butter. But most of the time, I actually specialize in tech. So I build my own computers to suit animation needs. If there's a project that needs, well, it's kind of obsolete now because there are render farms, but I used to build hardware to like render specific projects that other computers can't. So I would tap a company and like, hey, we need this rendered and how fast do you need it render consistently? And if I had the budget for it, I'll ask them, okay, just hire my studio for this amount of time and pay me this amount. And then I would use that revenue to build the hardwares to render projects for them.
In your years of the industry, would you say there's a difference between like working on an indie project and super expensive company po regarding crunch culture po?
In my experience, the smaller companies actually have more crunch. Kasi there's less people working in a project. But the difference is you get paid more sometimes in a smaller company kasi the roles are compressed. So sabihin natin, I'm a compositor, but I'm also expected to work as a background designer, motion designer, VFX artist, and editor at the same time. But working in a big company, I'm expected to just work as a motion designer. So yeah, I think sometimes, but there's times in some big companies where like crunch is like hard. They would expect you to give ridiculous deadlines sometimes, depending on who's handling the company.
How about po sa locally versus internationally po?
In my experience talaga, locally we have a bad perception for time management. International, it depends on which country you're working with. The best countries to work with is Australia, New Zealand. America is a bit sa crunch then. Like they're kind of normalized for them. Japan then is normalized for crunch. France is a bit okay actually.
Since there's like a stereotype that art pays really low po, would you say that's true?
It really depends. Okay, so there's this interesting video I watched on YouTube. It's about an animator from Hollywood talking about how AI disrupts yung wages of the people. So how he talks about it is the big studios, which used to be the grandeur goal of most people in our industry go to, is paying lower because the departments where, sabihin natin, I don't want to say it's a low job, they're like the starting positions, so in betweener, DIP, is getting paid lower kasi AI daw is being used in the pipeline process to speed up the work because the stakeholders care about productivity and speed. So they would pay less for the people to manage yung AI to do their work for them. So they're getting paid really low for like their economy standards. But on the other side, there's been an uptick on content creators making more money with what they make. So you honestly pick your battle. It's either you can work for other people and they set how much you can earn, or you can take a gamble and work for yourself. The scary thing about the first one is you might get too comfortable and you get stuck like doing the same job. But if you think you can upskill and everything, that's a great way then to have more consistent wage. On the other side, like it's not assured, but I have known people personally and like not personally that made careers out of making their own content.
So in that line po, what would you suggest like young animators who are just starting out? How would they make ends meet po?
Okay. In that case, I highly suggest na work for other people, but don't stay there. Just work there to learn how they use their techniques, their pipelines. And then once you're comfortable starting out your own journey, I suggest you do so. Because either way, you can still work in a company while working on your own projects. And it's not bad that you work for other people. It's just you have to ask yourself, is that what you wanna keep doing for until you're 40?
I'm not gonna reach 40, guys. I wouldn't know. Okay, how about you, Pink? You have a question?
Happy. I wanna work happy. So, do you think that having a creative career requires a second job?
It depends on you really, on your goals. I kind of want to tell my own story and the stories I want to tell. It's kind of hard doing that alongside with working another creative job. In my case, I tried to work a full-time studio on my own, and it's been okay. Like the pay is really lucrative. It's the hours that is hard. So you sacrifice time for money.
It's really for the money.
Yeah, but there's also another way where you can get a second job and pursue your dream to make your own studio.
If we want to be rich, I want to be rich. Would you say where is the best like location to work? Overseas, locally, or locally, and then your company's like overseas po?
Look, the third option. So the third option is I'm here and I'm getting wages from abroad. And the currency conversion rate is pretty high. I would suggest the third option, honestly. But if you have a chance to go abroad and work there for a while, that's also a great option because you can experience other cultures.
Bonus question. Do you have any health tips for animators?
Yeah, I have a lot actually. First and foremost is buy a good chair. You're gonna be sitting more than 16 hours animating most of the time.
Scoliosis.
And then get a good footrest. So what you want to do when you have your setup is you want your elbows aligned with sa table nyo. And there's a back support for your chair. I had a health scare actually. So back before I started teaching here, I weighed a bit more, like way more. Working on your own studio is very sedentary. So sometimes I do shifts, not 18 hours. And then the next day I have to wake up like 7 for a meeting. And I didn't have a time for physical health. Because before making my own studio, I was very, I won't say athletic, but like I was more outdoors person. You have to watch out because it's very insidious, like the way like your health declines
You need a gaming chair.
when you're sedentary.
Oh, how about the
You need an
way?
epic gaming chair.
How about the way you eat like for the day? And, like,
Oh,
your sleep schedule.
Sleep schedule is like normally like everyone else's. Like I have days na I sleep late. I have days na I go to bed really early. I try to go earlier because I think my cage is catching up to me. But for food naman, I do meal preps. So we have a weekly meal prep. Like I cook for myself like 3 batches of udam, and then for carbs I do a big batch of like quinoa. And then I portion that into lunch boxes. So when I have to be on the go or like at the gym, I'll just grab it and then like after I'll just eat.
I don't know how to cook.
That's so funny. I do that, but for my outfits.
So how would you describe your desk setup?
Your home
Oh.
setup. Just the desk. It's a table.
It has to be pretty wide, like
This wide.
more or less, because
What?
this is my first monitor where I do color grading and play video games. And then I have a stand here. That's a drawing monitor here. That where obviously I draw. And then keyboard, mouse. On this side, I have my traditional setup where I do my practice drawings. Sometimes I live draw before I tackle a project or like just to warm up for the day. Or if I'm bored, I'll just draw and then just see Pinterest on this monitor. For my PC, I have 13700K na Intel 3070 GPU, 1 TB na SSD, 64 gigs of RAM, and an 800-watt PSU.
Do I have the money to buy all of that?
I don't.
I think you'll do.
I'm gonna be rich.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think you'll do.
It requires a lot, right?
I'm going to be rich.
I'm not a laptop guy. I used to have a laptop back in college. I broke it. Then after that, I was like, I'm never going back to a laptop. I'm just gonna build my own computers.
You're so real. I do that as well, except I don't build my computers. How about home life and work life balance? Since animators are famously always working, apparently.
Okay, so this is an interesting thing about our industry. On the early days of animation, there was a big work-life balance where you can take a lot of projects and then take like half of the year to break. So you have a half-year break because you're paid enough na you don't have to work for those 6 months. So that was during the golden age of animation. Now, because deadlines are looming a lot and it's the digital age, people can contact you at instantaneous speeds. You have to find a compromise. You have to find do you need breaks? Are you the kind of person that needs to take breaks? Or can you keep trucking and are you really good at managing projects? So it really depends on the person. For me, the perfect home life balance and work life balance is I'll work probably 4 or 5 times a week, and then the weekends or the evenings I have for myself and my hobbies. Because in the weekends I like mountain biking really far, and then I don't want to be bothered for anything else except being in nature. Then on the weekdays, yeah, I'll do creative work and I'll do I guess non-creative work as well. So I have the week to keep me busy.
Look, we do touch grass.
Oh, that's good.
Fist
That's
me.
good.
So, is that all?
Do you have anything to add? Anything?
Stretch a lot, do mobility, drink lots of water.
I do none of that. Magpaganda, guys. That's my tip.
So yeah, thank you for having me over.
You're not welcome. Go back to where you came. Joke.
Time for family, time for yourself.
Time for mountain bikes and time for farming. Yay!
And paano yung season 2?
Goodbye, guys.
And that is all.
Subscribe.
Subscribe. And
Like,
that is
subscribe.
all.